Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca from devourdinner.com. Welcome to my kitchen and happy Sunday everybody. I'm excited to be here. Are you? I've got two great recipes today that I'm going to make live right in front of you and give you all the tips and tricks on how I make Instant Pot chili and air fryer cornbread made easy. Welcome. It's great to have you here as you join in. Please say hello. Let me know where you're from. We're going to take just a moment and make sure our technology is all set up so that everybody can hear okay and that we are live both on Facebook and on YouTube. So welcome as you join in. Let's make sure we are live. We are live on YouTube. And it sounds like we can hear okay on YouTube, so that is fantastic. We love it. Hey, Kathy. Kathy is from Florida. She is saying hello. We love that. We absolutely love that. Okay. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Debbie's from Indiana. Hello, Amy. Amy is from the Instant Pot 101 for Beginners group. Welcome. She is the admin over there. And if you're just popping in from the Instant Pot 101 for Beginners group, I'm Rebecca from devourdinner.com. I like to focus on easy to make recipes for busy families using common ingredients. I love my Instant Pot and I love my air fryer. And I want to show you how to love those too. So today we're going to make two recipes. We're going to make Instant Pot chili and air fryer cornbread. Both of them are delicious. They're wonderful when paired together. So let's dive in and get started. I'm going to drop the link for the Instant Pot chili recipe. We're going to get that link dropped in. Now, I have already turned the Instant Pot on to saute. We want to get the bottom heating up. We're waiting for this to read hot. So that will heat our bottom element. And with our Instant Pot chili today, I'm going to do a half of a recipe. So for those of you who are already going to ask the question, can you make half of the recipe? Absolutely, you can. I'm going to do half a recipe today because that's what works for me and my family today. And I don't want a bunch of leftovers. Hi, Catherine. How are you? Hi, Sigrid. Hi, Trelva. Hi, Chris. Chris is from California. Oh, good. Chris is letting me know. We can hear you great. Kathy says it's the season for chili and cornbread. You know, it really is. We got snow this week. Eastern Idaho. We got about 2 inches of snow on Thursday, I think it was, and then another 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch on Friday. It's just been gross. Most of it's all melted off, which is great. But it's cold here in Eastern Idaho. Okay, you can see the front panel is reading hot. So now that it's hot, I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil and we're gonna saute up some ground sirloin and some ground pork, okay? Now the recipe calls for about 1/2 of a pound of each, ground sirloin and ground pork. As you might remember, unless you're just joining me, I'm gonna half the recipe. So I'm gonna do about 1/4 of a cup or a little bit more of ground pork and about 1/4 of ground sirloin. Now what we want to do is we want to brown this up. And of course, right off the bat, let's go top down. I almost forgot. It sticks almost immediately to the bottom. Just let it do its thing. Don't try to rip it off. It'll lift up. And I'm just breaking it up. As it starts to lift up, we can see we have lots of stuck bits today. That's all right. We'll be scraping it up. There's still quite a bit of the olive oil that's on the bottom of the pan, as well as the natural juices from both the top sirloin, ground sirloin, and from the pork. And we're also going to be adding in some vegetables. So some onions and some bell peppers. And of course, you know, when we add in the vegetables have some of their own natural juices, which will help lift up anything that is stuck. So you notice I'm already working on the stuck bits, right? Which I can do while it's still cooking. Okay, this process does not take very long as I just try to chop it up. And we're just gonna make sure that things are lifted up all the way around. Now I am using a flat bottom wooden spoon. You can see that there. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and add in some onion. This is probably about 1/3 of a cup of diced onion. And I'm also gonna add in some chopped diced red bell pepper and some orange bell pepper as well. Now, in the comments, I wanna hear, how many of you like your chili spicy hot? I'm talking hot. Do you like it hot? I wanna hear in the comments. If you like it hot, there's a variety of ways that you can get it hot. You can add some diced jalapeno. You could use, you could even use a habanero. You could use an Anaheim chili pepper. Will bring in a little bit of heat. The different peppers have different levels of heat. So if you want it really spicy, you want to go for more of a habanero or a jalapeno if you like the flavor of the jalapeno with the spice that it gives. After we get some of this sauteed up, this is when you would add those extra peppers. Kathy says, not too spicy for me. Catherine says, mild. Peggy says, I'm from Rainy, Arkansas. Donna says, love spicy hot. Elaine says 0. Sigrid says mid, medium. Okay, you know me and my family. We love the flavor, but not the heat. So what I like to do is I don't like to add the heat at this point. For those in my family that like heat, they will add jalapeno peppers on top. They will add hot sauce on top to cook it up that way, okay? We love the flavor of chili, but not the hot of chili. All right, now you can see here in the bottom, maybe you can see here in the bottom through all the steam, there's some juices. See, there's some juices over here. Those juices are actually helping me make sure the bottom doesn't have anything stuck. Our onions are starting to turn a little translucent. It's releasing the liquids from inside. It's sweating a little bit, which is perfect. Now, if for some reason you know you have stuck bits on the bottom, we'll want to make sure that you deglaze the bottom of the pot. To me, it looks like I've got everything up that I need up, so I'm not gonna panic about it. But now that I've got the ground pork and the ground sirloin cooked, there's no more pink in there, and I've got the vegetables cooked in, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the saute feature. So I'm just gonna press cancel. That will turn off the heat from below. If you do need to deglaze the bottom of your pot, take a little bit of your beef broth and just pour it in. A couple of tablespoons. That extra liquid will help you scrape the bottom and lift anything up from the bottom. It's just that simple to deglaze the bottom of your pot. All right? Okay, now at this point, we're gonna add all these other ingredients, but we're not gonna stir things together, okay? Let me explain why. In order for our Instant Pot to pressure up, we need thin liquid. Our thin liquid that we're using today is beef broth and the liquid from diced tomatoes. The thin liquid from both of those is what will heat up and create pressure to seal off your pressure cooker. So we're gonna add those first so that those go to the bottom. Then we will layer on top with our beans, our tomato sauce, and our tomato paste. so that the thin liquid is right at the bottom where it can boil and heat up. But before we do that, I want to add all of our spices. So the spices that we're adding today, I've got cumin in here, chili powder, paprika, salt, pepper, and some cocoa powder, believe it or not. Cocoa powder does amazing things when it's put into chili. So this is not a sweetened cocoa powder. This is like the bitter cocoa powder, and it's amazing what it does. So I'm going to add that to the mixture, and we're just going to stir that up because I do want all of those yummy spices mixed throughout. And there we go. All right. Now, I'm making sure that our hamburger mixture is even, but then I kind of went around and poked some holes. Why do you think that is? I'm not going to wait for the answer on this one. That's to make sure that this thin liquid gets right down to the bottom. So I'm going to add in about a half of a cup of beef broth. Tuck that out of the way. We're going to add 1 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes, and I'm going to just kind of spread that around. We're going to add about half of a can of kidney beans. Now these kidney beans have been rinsed and drained, and we're going to add half of a can of white beans. And feel free to use whatever kind of beans you like. Like if you like a black bean, add a black bean. If you want to add a pinto bean, add a pinto bean. And then on top of that, I'm going to add some tomato sauce. And then on top of that, I'm going to add some tomato paste. Now, the tomato paste is too thick, right? But this will melt down in to all the chili when it's been cooked. Okay? Now, let me just make sure I got all the ingredients going on. We're good. Sometimes I get the ingredients out here and then I like miss one and then I feel super bad. So remember, I'm making half of a batch. Even half of a batch is a lot. Okay? Now, take your lid, make sure your inner seal, your silicone seal is pressed down in. It's behind that metal gasket. If it's not seated correctly, your Instant Pot or your pressure cooker will not seal and it won't pressure up, okay? So you just want to make sure that it is in place. We're going to put the lid on it, close it, and we're going to lock it. Now we're going to pressure cook this for 10 minutes. So use your plus and minus keys and adjust for 10 minutes. And in just a minute, we're going to hear some beeps. Remember those beeps? Tell us that your pressure cooker has acknowledged those readings and it's going to start doing its magic. So the magic is going to heat that bottom element. That element is going to heat up the thin liquid, the beef broth, and the juices from the tomatoes, the diced tomatoes. It's going to bring it to a boil. As it comes to a boil, it's going to create steam, and steam creates pressure. Once the pressure has been built, the pin in the back will pop up and it will seal off. And then your front panel will change to 10 minutes, okay? All right, I'm looking at comments here. I'll answer those. Hold on 1 second. So that's all we have to do. Okay, let's see here. Peggy says, I make my chili mild and let people add spice on their own. Sigrid and Peggy says the same. Sigrid says, I'm old and I get heartburn if it's too spicy. I'm right there with you. I love to taste my food, and so that's why I don't add heat at this point. But there's so many people who love the heat, and I want you to know how to add the heat if you want it. It's really wonderful to add the heat before pressure cooking because then those flavors get dispersed all throughout. But if you don't want heat, It can always be added at the end. And so that's important too. Dar is asking the question, can you use tomato soup? Dar, are you thinking like a Campbell's tomato soup? I suppose you could. If it's the condensed tomato soup, you would not be able to use that as your thin liquid because that would be too thick to bring anything to a boil. I know back in the day, I used to make a sloppy joe with a can of condensed tomato soup and a can of something else. Can't think of it off the top of my head. That was pretty good. The kids loved it when they were little, for sure. Sigrid says, I would think that would make it too sweet. I'll be interested to know if anyone else has tried it. Okay, Sigrid, are you implying about the cocoa? Believe it or not, the cocoa doesn't have sweetener in it. It's the bitter cocoa powder. So there's nothing sweet that's being added. Somehow, the cocoa powder mixed with all the spices, mixed with the tomatoes, helps to cut the acidity and bring a rich fullness to the chili. You don't notice it's in there. So for any of you who are skeptical and you don't want to add it, now in the recipe, I think the recipe is just 1 tablespoon. And keep in mind, this is a big pot, so 1 tablespoon is not that much. Today, I think I added 1.5 teaspoons, barely, something like that. You're not gonna hardly notice it. If you're worried, add it at the end. Just keep it out, and then at the end, pull out a bowl and just sprinkle a little cocoa powder and stir it in, let it kind of sit and melt for a minute, and then try it, okay? That's another trick way to add a spice that you're not sure of if you're gonna love. You don't wanna ruin the whole batch if you don't love it. But it's really good, really good. All right, okay. Now this is doing its thing. It's boiling in here. I can hear it starting to bubble and all of those things. So I'm gonna push this off to the side so that we can start talking about making cornbread, all right? And I'm gonna clean up some of this stuff so that I'm not tripping on it. Because you know me, I get too much stuff out here and then I forget what I've got going on. It's a struggle. It's really a struggle. All right. Are we good? How's everybody doing today? I feel like I get into a rush of like, let's get it pressure cooking because that's what takes the time. And then at this point I can stop and say, hello, how's everybody doing? What's going on? All the fun stuff. Okay, next thing's up. We've got to preheat the air fryer. So we're gonna cook today at 310 degrees. And so we want to let the air fryer preheat for like 5 minutes, which when we're mixing everything up, it'll be perfect. Now for this recipe, I'm going to be using a flat bottom pan. This happens to be the 2-tier pot that I use in the Instant Pot. Pretty handy, right? So let me drop the link for that in case you want it. It is an affiliate link, just FYI, from Amazon. But there is the 2-tier pot. And then I'm also gonna drop the link for the air fryer cornbread. So that's what we're gonna put it in. You will spray this with some baking spray so that it doesn't stick, but you want to use a flat bottom pot. Okay, so for this recipe, we're gonna use a box of Jiffy corn mix, 1 egg, 1/3 cup of milk, and about 1/2 cup of corn, of sweet corn. So I like to use a canned corn and I rinse and drain it. And we were going to add it to the cornbread mix. Now, you don't have to, but it really, really does make a difference. You guys probably want to watch what I'm doing. There we go. We're gonna add 1 egg. Okay, that's a little bright. Oh, it'll tone down, hopefully. 1 egg. And we're gonna add 1/3 of a cup of milk and about 1/2 of a cup of corn. And then I'm just gonna mix this up. Now the recipe also calls for some butter. The butter we will use on top after it has air fried. So I'm just making sure that all of the pieces of the mixed cornbread are broken up. We don't want any big chunks of powder in our mix. But as you can see, I'm not doing a lot. It's really all we're doing. It's that simple. Okay, now I'm going to take my pan and I'm going to spray it. Make sure to get on the sides. So I've sprayed the pan, I've gotten the sides all around. And then we're just going to pour it in. Okay, and then just make sure that it is spread evenly in your pan. And that's it. That's all it takes. See how fast that was? Super fast. Our air fryer's been heating up now for almost 4 minutes. So we're gonna let it do its thing. And I'm gonna check really fast. Okay, our cornbread cooks for 14 to 15 minutes at 310 degrees. Super easy. Okay, Amy put in here, Amy, you're fabulous. She says, I use tomato soup in my goulash. I add the thin liquid to the bottom and then add the can of soup on top, but I don't stir. You only stir once it's cooked. Yes, very good. Thank you, Amy. Julie says, you're making me hungry. That's the point. That is the point. Now, this will cook for 14 to 15 minutes. Our chili is now processing over here. It's doing its thing. So we've just got some time to hang out, answer questions, Instant Pot air fryer questions, any kind of whatever. Let's just chat and hang out, because I'll tell you, I've been running around like crazy. Super crazy. Okay, this is preheated. Here's our basket, and we're just gonna set it in. Now remember, the basket's hot, so don't touch it. Okay, it's just sitting in there. Put it in the middle, and we're gonna put it right back in. And then we're setting it for 14 minutes. We're gonna let it do its thing. I actually put it on 13 minutes because I want to check it. That's it. Dinner is gonna be done before you know it. And it's just a fabulous, good dinner. Now, I don't know about you, but when my boys were little and we would get ready for Halloween and to go trick-or-treating, and remember, here in Eastern Idaho, it's cold. And the kids eat a lot of candy and a lot of sugar, and they're all excited. I always wanted to make sure that they ate a good, hot meal first. So we would either make chili or we would make taco soup for the boys. So they'd have a good meal in their tummies before we went out the door and did trick-or-treating or trunk-or-treating or whatever Halloween carnival we would be going to make sure that they were good and full. So that was one of our family traditions for Halloween, which has just been always fun. Donna, I love it. Okay, so Donna just said, I made the cauliflower soup today and it's amazing. I'm going to make the cornbread now to go with it. Oh, that'll be so good, Donna. Okay, Donna, can you do me a favor? And this goes for anybody else who's made one of my recipes. If you've made a recipe, go back to the recipe and leave a comment and a star rating. You can leave a star rating from 1 to 5 stars. If you change something, if you added extra cheese into the cauliflower soup or whatever, make a comment. Say, hey, I wanted it cheesier, so I added more cheese. Whatever you did, or if you followed the recipe as it's written, let others know and let others know what you thought about it. It goes a long ways and it makes a big deal for people when they're reading those reviews. So I would appreciate that. I'm so glad you love it. Donna says, okay, I love it. You guys are fantastic. Okay, how many of you have given this video a thumbs up and a star or a heart? I want to see those hearts flying. Please take the time to like this video. If you have shared this video into a group or on your timeline, big hugs from me to you. I sure appreciate the support. Amy is here from the Instant Pot 101 for Beginner group. She's the admin. So if you've hopped on over from the Instant Pot 101 for Beginner group, I'm Rebecca from devourdinner.com. And I love my Instant Pot and my air fryer. And I go live on Sundays teaching you at home how to make these recipes, where you can make them right along with me, or you can take notes and you can make later in the week. It doesn't matter. I just want you to love your Instant Pot the way I do. You guys are so fun. So fun. Amy's fantastic from the Instant Pot 101 for Beginner group, and some of our moderators jump on as well. This is a safe spot. So if you are new and you haven't watched me before, please say hello in the comments. Let me know you're new. Between Amy, the moderators, and my top fans, we're here to answer your questions. This is safe. There is no silly question, I promise. We want to help you use your pressure cooker. Amy's waving. Hi, Sherry, how are you? Sherry, are you new? Sherry might be new. Okay, Doreen says, I got the Kasori air fryer. Now I've got to figure out all the presets. Looks like yours too. Oh, okay. So the presets on the Kasori, there's lots of them. But I'm going to be honest with you. Just like with the Instant Pot, there's a lot of presets. I don't use them. Like, I've tested them out to see what they are, but I like the control. I don't want to use a preset. Because if you choose a preset, you're following into the parameters that they've set. So if they've set for like their fish or their chicken button or their poultry button, that they're only wanting like so much in there and you put in more, maybe it'll take more time and then you're frustrated. And so I would rather teach you how to use your basic settings so that you can adjust them and you can get your, whatever you're air frying, perfect every time. I love my Kasori. It's fantastic. Truly fantastic. Trish, are you new? Welcome, welcome. Sherry says, no, I'm not new. I just haven't been here for a while. Well, I'm glad you're here. Welcome back. It's a fun place to be. We love good food. We love Sunday afternoons hanging out, right? Catherine is asking, any suggestions for a new Instant Pot? I have used a variety of brands of Instant Pot, or variety brands of pressure cookers. There we go. And as you see, I am using an Instant Pot. I have older model Instant Pots because that's what I have. So I haven't tried the new ones, but I hear great things about the new ones. And with it coming up on the holidays, I bet for Black Friday, for Christmas sales, we'll start to see quite a bit of them on sale. When I see those on sale, I will post them onto my Facebook page so that it can alert you in that way. Sherry says, the only setting I use is for making yogurt. Yes, yes, the yogurt setting is phenomenal. I love making the homemade yogurt. I love using the yogurt setting for proofing bread dough. It's really a thing. It cuts the proofing the bread dough in half. So here in Eastern Idaho, my home gets cold. Like we turn our heater down at night when we're all in bed. And so the house is like 68 degrees and it takes it a while to warm up, but we don't keep it real hot. And so proofing any kind of dough in the wintertime takes a long time. The house isn't very warm. But if I put it in the Instant Pot on the yogurt setting on the low, it warms, it keeps a nice warm environment, and it will double and proof that dough in half the time so that I can make rolls. I can use it for pizza dough, cinnamon rolls, regular dinner rolls, whatever I'm doing, and it's phenomenal. Debbie says, I love it for proofing dough. Sigrid, you've never made yogurt? Is it easy? Okay, listen, I've got a video of making yogurt. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna link it back to your comment. Yes, it's just a couple of ingredients, and you mix it up and you just let it do its thing. You set it before you go to bed, and then it goes all night long, and then in the morning it's done, but it's warm at this point, so you can't, well, I guess you could eat it, but I don't. Then I put it in the fridge and I let it chill. I like to strain mine just to get the extra whey out, so it makes it like a really, really thick Greek yogurt. I like mine plain. I think the flavor of it plain is phenomenal. And so I leave mine plain and I serve it up with like granola and fruit, but I don't add honey, I don't add any other things to it. So I do that. Oh, sometimes I'll add my protein mixes to it because that's kind of fun. Sherry says it's super easy. Peggy, great question. Peggy's question, can you proof those frozen Rhodes rolls in your yogurt, on the yogurt setting? Yes, you can. Okay, you ready? You remember the 2-tier pot, the one that I've got right in here with the cornbread. Use that, spray it, take your Rhodes rolls, place them in. Okay, now you have to leave room around because remember they need to double in size. So you're gonna put them in and you can fit, I don't know, 6 around and then 1 in the middle, something like that. And then you can put it in your pressure cooker and let it proof. Truth be told, you can then put that in your air fryer and bake your rolls. You could put that in your oven and bake your rolls. Possibilities are endless. So that's kind of fun. I love how you guys chime in. Juanita just chimed in and said it's so easy to make your own yogurt. It really is. I also love to freeze yogurt in little ice cube trays because then I can throw it into a smoothie. Super great. Oh, Peggy. So Peggy says yes. Peggy's excited that she can use the Instant Pot to proof those Rhodes rolls. She has a hard time getting them to rise because they're too cold. Honestly, I do too. So I cheat sometimes and I turn on the oven like to 350 and I let it run for like 40 seconds and then I turn it off. But that heats up the oven just enough and then I'll pop them in to rise in the oven, and that's a slower time, but it's a warm environment. I cheat. Juanita, you're welcome. She says, great tip. All right, Amy says, yes, I put some very hot water in the bottom, put the rolls in the pan you are going to bake them in, put the pan on top of the trivet, use your yogurt normal or medium. I haven't done it with water in the bottom. That's interesting, but that would keep them moist too. You wouldn't get that hard edge on it, Amy. So I like that idea. Really like that idea. Okay, well, we've got a lot of faces on here today. If you're just joining in, we've got 2 recipes going on right now. In the Instant Pot, we have made Instant Pot chili, and it's got 1 minute left on the cook time. We're then going to allow a 10-minute natural pressure release. So all that means is this front panel that says 1 minute left, it's going to go to 0 and it's going to beep at us. Then this number is going to count up in numbers, and when it reaches 10, we'll open up the back pressure valve and release the rest of the pressure quickly. So for 10 minutes, it's going to release really slowly. Some people say, well, what's the point of the the natural pressure release versus a quick release? Great question. Typically, whenever you're doing meat, so like chicken or pork or steak, you want to do a natural pressure release. The reason is because all of that moisture is in the meat. And when you let the pressure out, the pressure comes out and it pulls all of the liquid out of your meat. So it'll dry it out quicker. So whenever you have a roast or you're doing chicken, there's always a natural pressure release time to keep the moisture into the meat, okay? Now with this, we browned up our meat beforehand, so there wasn't any pink left. The rest of it, if there was, cooked during the pressure cooking process. So what does the natural pressure release do for chili? Anybody have any thoughts? Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Well, the natural pressure release, okay. Think of a pot of pasta on your stove. Pasta has starches and it gets all bubbly and hot, right? Well, all of those starches are hanging out at the top. If you automatically opened up pasta or even soup that's full, all that soup is just gonna kind of come out the top and make a mess. We want things to settle down a little bit so that our liquid inside doesn't start shooting out. It's really what it does. It also helps meld those flavors just a little bit longer together. Yep, you guys are right, keeps the starches down. It just keeps everything together. It just helps all the way around. Okay, we got a couple things going on here. Our chili is now in its natural pressure release state. Our cornbread has cooked for 13 minutes. The recipe says 14 to 15, but I wanted to check it. Ooh, that looks good. Okay, let me go top down because I want you to see this. Look at that. So we see the natural cracking that goes on. I'm just gonna take my toothpick in the middle. Now mine is still, it's a little more crummy than I want it, okay? So I'm gonna put it back in. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do it for 2 more minutes. But I'm gonna pay attention with my nose because I don't want that top to get any more baked, but that inside was still a little soft. And I wanna make sure that it is done. All right, so Amy is adding to her previous comment. She says, it depends on how much dough you're doing. Check after 30 minutes. Also, use an inverted plate or a glass lid rather than the Instant Pot lid. The dough can rise up too far and get caught in the lid. That is very, very true. So what Amy is saying, when you're proofing your dough, so if you're making like cinnamon roll dough or pizza bread dough or whatever, and you're just putting the whole dough in the liner, spray your liner, put the dough in, put a glass dinner plate on top. If you put your pressure cooking lid on top, this is what happens. The dough starts rising, 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 rising. It hits the lid. It can't go any further, but it's still trying, and it pushes up the pressure valve and it locks your lid in place. And you cannot get it open. Use a dinner plate on top, okay? That'll keep your dough moist because it's trapping in the warmth and the moisture. But if it rises too much, it's just gonna lift your plate up. And trust me, your plate's not gonna go anywhere because it's gonna be stuck to your dough. So another tip is to spray the bottom side of your dinner plate that you set on top. Because then when it hits and it starts touching, it'll release a lot easier. Just some tips for you. Julie says, thank you. You guys are fantastic. Okay, with chili. I get this a lot. I want to know, and I'm going to put this question in the box, and you can actually reply to the question itself. All right? So my question is, have you tried chili with cinnamon rolls together? Have you heard of that? That's what I want to know. That's Finn in the background. So cinnamon rolls and chili is apparently a thing in the school districts. So when the lunch ladies make chili, they tend to make cinnamon rolls. Why? I don't know, but apparently it's a thing. And even when I asked my boys years ago, they said, oh yeah, you get your chili, you get your cinnamon roll. My boys would dump their chili on their cinnamon roll and just go to town and eat it. I was horrified. You guys are fantastic. You all can hear Finn in the background. Oh yeah, he's been sleeping, but he's heard me and now he smells food. And so he wants to come into the studio area, which I don't let him get under my feet because I have my lighting equipment, my camera equipment, lots of cords, and he tends to trip on things, but he wants over here to say hi. Amy says, I've always wanted to try it. So trying cinnamon rolls and chili. Debbie says no. Julie says no. Sherry says no. Never heard of that combination, said Chris. Okay, Sigrid says my husband likes a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with his chili. Catherine says no to the chili cinnamon roll combination. We had chili and cinnamon rolls in grade school. Great memories. Spooky gal, wonderful. Okay, I'm glad there's somebody on here. Yeah, it's an elementary school thing is what it is. So ask your kids, see if they remember, see if it was something that was done in their schools. To me, the combination seems crazy and bizarre, but it's been a while since I've done it, like a long while. I picked up just some cinnamon rolls from the grocery store bakery. I know these aren't the best cinnamon rolls, but I didn't have time to make cinnamon rolls. And so, yeah, I got them, so we'll try it off. I'll pass on that, Meredith says. Debbie says, when we were in school, it was butter sandwiches with chili, for sure. Chili over mashed potatoes. Now, chili over mashed potatoes is excellent. It's excellent. Okay, let's pull this out. This is gone for another 2 minutes, and we're gonna test it again. And notice, it really didn't get much browner on the top. I just don't want it to be, I think we're gonna be good. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit for a few minutes, and we're just gonna let it sit to stay warm. It's cracked open, it's not closed, but I don't want my cornbread to cool off. We've still got a few minutes left on our chili before we open up the pressure valve. Once we open it up, we're just gonna stir it. There's nothing else to do to our chili unless you want to add some of the heat, meaning the jalapenos, the habaneros, an Anaheim pepper, any hot sauce. You can add that. You can add it to individual bowls. And then it comes down to, how do you like to top your chili? So in the comments, tell me, how do you like to top your chili? What do you like to put on your chili? We've got the cornbread, so we know that's a thing. But how do you like to top it? What are your favorite toppings? Add cheese. Sherry likes it with spaghetti, like Cincinnati. Oh, that's fun. Dar asks, are you adding shredded cheese? Yes, I'm very definitely adding shredded cheese. Dorina says, I love it on baked potatoes. It's fabulous. It would be fabulous on baked potatoes. Do you know that chili is also really good with tater tots and French fries? In fact, one of my favorite things to get when I'm at Disney World in Hollywood Studios over at Andy's Lunchbox, which is one of the little restaurant things, is what they call tachos. And it's tater tots with Walt Disney's chili on top, cheese, sour cream, chives, the whole 9 yards. It's delicious. I just love it. I love the simplicity of it, and it fills me up. And it's super affordable in the parks, which most things aren't. Amy says, I love Cincinnati chili. Chili and buttered saltine crackers when I was a kid. Cheese, sour cream, green onions, yum. Now, if I was to ask my dad this, my dad would definitely say Frito chips. Frito chips. He's old time, loves those Frito chips. I'm more of a tortilla chip person in my chili. I do like to put tortillas on the bottom and then the chili on top and then cheese and sour cream, whatever else I'm in the mood for. Noodles. Noodles sound wonderful. So fun today, you guys. So fun. All right. We're at 10 minutes. So I'm going to let the pressure go. Oh, okay. We're going to open up the pressure valve. Now remember, we've let any of those starches settle a little bit, but because this is a thin liquid, this is a chili recipe, it could start spitting at us. And if it spits at us, close the pressure valve. Don't let it spit all over your kitchen. Got it? Now, if you're new and you're watching, get out your ladle. The ladle has this cute little notch in the end. Use this notch on the little triangle part for the pressure valve and move it that way. That gives you an extra 8 inches away from the pressure valve if you're nervous. This is the part of pressure cooking that most people stress over. It's not putting the food inside. It's how to get it out, because that steam and that pressure is scary. So use this. If you don't have this, that's okay. Use a spatula. Use a spoon. Okay? Anything that will get your hands and fingers a few extra inches away. You just have to move it side to side. That's all you need to do. All right? So we're going to open this up. Make sure to move it away from your kitchen cabinets, because this pressure and this steam will ruin the finish on your cabinets over time. It won't do it one time, but over time, if you release it day after day, you'll ruin the finish on your cabinets, so don't do that. And if you have any like low hanging lights, like I have lights that hang down over my bar in my kitchen, you don't want to do it underneath those, because all this steam gets kind of caught all over the glass and it's yucky to clean, so don't do that. So kind of pull it away and let that pressure out. We're going to let it do its thing. Let's pull this out. All right, now I'm just going to take a butter knife, and all I'm going to do is loosen up the edge, okay? Because I do want to flip this out. Now, sometimes it comes out nice, and sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know. I'm a little worried about it today, I'll be honest. Okay, I'm just putting a plate on top. Remember, that pan is hot. Oh, I don't think we got a clean getaway. Oh, there we got it. Nope, nope. We missed some in the middle. And you know what? That was what I was worried about. Okay, it's baked, but it is not baked as much as I like. So watch what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna put it back in. And then I'm gonna explain. Okay, so that center section, it wasn't even a big section. It wasn't even the whole depth. It was just right there. That, it was baked, but you know when you bake cookies and the cookies they're baked, but they're still ooey gooey? That's how the center was. Well, I don't want my cornbread that way. I want my cornbread baked more, right? So I just flipped it back in and I just put it back in the air fryer. Super simple. Why not, right? It's not gonna hurt anything. So if it doesn't get done, make sure it gets done. That's why we test things and trial and error. I love that that happened live. Sigrid says, I love to see live troubleshooting. You know what? I honestly do too. Now, back in the day, it stressed me out like no other. Like, I don't know. I think I got embarrassed. I think I got worried that my credibility wasn't good because it didn't work for me or something. But now I actually love when it doesn't work out because I can talk through it and help you at home. And what I hope is when things happen to you at home, you can go, oh, let's think about this logically. It wasn't all loopy-goopy. It was all perfect. It just, I want my cornbread baked, right? So I just put it in there. I put it in there for 2 minutes, but I'm actually gonna do one more. Okay, our chili is done. So let's bring this over. Now, this is going to steam up the camera. So we're gonna let some of this steam escape so it doesn't get all over the camera. Remember, your notch from your lid fits right into your handle. That way all the condensation from the inside can run down and get in the trap in the back. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but right here is one of those piles of the tomato paste. See that? It's having a hard time focusing. That's because we didn't stir it up, and this is okay. We're gonna stir it all up now because we needed those thin liquid to bring it to pressure. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So good. It's ready to go. It is ready to go. So I'm gonna get out a big ladle. And a bowl. And I want you to see this. Look at that. There you go. Can you see that? It's beautiful. Look at that. Oh. Isn't that fun? All right. We're going to push this off to the side. We're going to add some cheese. We got to have cheese. We're going to add some sour cream. Now, I do think it's fun if you take your sour cream and you stir it up and you get it thin. I'm not going to take the time to do it now. And then you drizzle it across like in a zigzag. I think it just looks really pretty and it helps disperse the sour cream. You can pipe it into, you can put it into like a Ziploc bag and then trim the corner, which then will allow you to zigzag it. Super simple. Just gonna put a little bit of sour cream right there in the center. You can put green onions. You can do all kinds of things. My chips are over on the counter, so I'm gonna grab those. We're gonna add some chips to this. We're gonna get the cornbread out and we're gonna slice it up. So hold on. I did not buy new chips today. I should have done that. I'm just gonna add some here to the side. Oops. Finn heard it. He knew something fell. He was ready for it. Okay, let's get this back out. Let me try this again. Oh yeah, that feels way better. Yep. Now, I'm gonna be honest here. Because we flipped it out once, that portion that was stuck on the bottom is always going to be stuck on the bottom. It's not going to be pretty anymore. It's just what happens. So, and I only have one plate over here. What is this one? We might be able to use it with this. Watch what we're gonna do. Let's move my chili. Let's get this out of the way. I'm gonna use this smaller plate. You guys, I'm gonna burn myself. The struggle is real. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh look, and it even almost came off. That's fantastic. Okay, but I don't want the bottom side. I want the top side. So you see how I did that? I just used an extra plate to double flip. Pretty simple. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of butter. And we're just going to, the heat from the cornbread will just melt this butter right on top. So you can take a tablespoon or two. I do like when I'm eating cornbread just plain, I do like to add cornbread in the middle. You can add a drizzle of honey as well. You guys getting these links okay? I haven't dropped a link in a while. But you see how fast that butter just melts? Just does its thing. So fast, so easy. While that's finishing melting, let me just get the air fryer cornbread link, and I'll drop that one. And then I'm gonna drop the Instant Pot chili as well. So you guys have those. There we go. Oh, okay, I'm ready to dive in. Like, I need, let's see, what do I need here? I need a spoon. We're gonna do a couple of things going on here. Let's do, there's my cornbread. Now, I love the pieces of corn in the cornbread. I love the extra texture it gives. It's wonderful. You could also use canned cream corn as well. That way you're still getting that corn flavor, but it's a little more creamed. It's not as chunky, but I do love the whole kernel sweet corn. You could use frozen if you're gonna use frozen corn. Make sure to thaw it out. Just pop it in the microwave to kind of thaw it out so it's not frozen. Because if you add the frozen corn into the mix, it will take longer to bake. Guaranteed. All right. Let's get some contrast so that you can see everything that's going on here. There we go. Always amazed at the difference when I just add a little something something underneath. What do you think? How's that? Are we good now? Everybody can see? Okay, I want to try the chili. We're going to add into it some cinnamon roll. That bowl is hot. Whew. I wonder, sometimes my phone will try to sync and I can get it won't sync right now, darn it. Okay, it's not syncing. Sometimes my phone will sync and let me use it as a camera, which is really nice because then I can get right up close. Because I want you to see this. Look at that. Oh, it smells wonderful. Okay, I want some of this cheese. This is hot. There's so much steam coming off of this. Do not burn your lips. Don't burn your tongue. Oh, everything just melts. You have the textures. That's what I love about chili. But it just melts. That is fantastic. Simply fantastic. It is full of flavors and the textures. So now I've got a chip. See what I've got here? Put it on a little chip. I want some cornbread. I'm going for the middle. I'm not afraid. It's all cooked through now. So good. Even for a Jiffy mix, so good. And I really think adding the corn, it just helps it. So let's give you a, can you see that? It's a little blown out. All right. Who wants to see? Sigrid says looks amazing. Kathy says looks amazing. Nom, 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 nom. I'm swallowing. You guys are great. All right, let's talk about next week. I know last week I said no more traveling. I'll be here for Sundays. Something's come up. My aunt, my father's sister, is not doing well, and I am taking my father to see his sister. So I will not be here next Sunday. And I'm going to be helping him because he's older and needs help traveling. So I won't be here next Sunday, but I will be here the Sunday after that. And then I'm home for a long time, all through the holidays, all through the first part of the new year as well too. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's pull out, I'm going off camera here. I have to remember when I don't want a full cinnamon roll. So I'm going to just cut a little portion of cinnamon roll. How's that? What I do for you guys always makes me laugh. All right, so I've done half of a cinnamon roll. What's the best way to do this? My kids dip it. They dip it or they put it in the bottom. We're gonna get a little piece of cinnamon roll. We're gonna put some chili right there with it. And I'm gonna take the whole bite. You guys ready? You see it? It's dripping on my hands. Whoop, it's not in focus. There we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's fun. It's really interesting, actually. So the cinnamon flavor from the cinnamon roll really overpowers with all the tomatoes. And then you get the sweetness from the frosting. It's kind of crazy. I can totally see how children would love it. I think for me, I just would eat the cinnamon roll on the side. It's fun. It's good. Give it a try. It's not bad at all. Like, I would do it again. I would eat more of it. But as an adult, I really like the flavors of the chili. So that's how I'm going to eat it. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. We've gone just over the hour mark. I always try to keep it to an hour or less. So thank you for being here. If you haven't liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Give it a heart. If you have donated stars, that's my tip jar. Thank you, thank you. That really does mean the world to me. It just makes my heart smile when those tips are added. The money that I receive from those stars, I use for ingredients to do these live demos for you at home and to help you on your cooking journey. I'm excited for the holidays. Lots of fun recipes going on. Don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions. Sometimes I can't be on all the social platforms at once and it might take me a minute to get back to you, but I really, really try to answer those questions and help you where I can. I know we're going into the holidays with Thanksgiving and lots of recipes, So when I come back from this trip, I'm going to start doing like Thanksgiving side dishes and some of those recipes that you're going to be looking for, that you're going to be wanting for the holidays. And I'm going to show you how to make them easy. Once again, let's give a shout out to Amy at the Instant Pot 101 for Beginner group. I sure appreciate her support and all of the love from her admins. If you're one of the viewers from over there, I hope you'll consider following me here at Devour Dinner. I post recipes all day long of not only my recipes, but other great bloggers too, and it's really a lot of fun. Dar says thank you. Amy says thank you. Safe travels from Juanita. Trelva enjoyed this as well. Killing me with the cinnamon roll. Oh, you guys. You know what I love? First of all, I mean, those of you guys that are still here, this is like the after comments. I just love that I can be myself. Like, I don't have to be somebody I'm not, that I can just be me and just go, oh yeah, I'll try that. Like, you know what? I did like the combination of this. Like, I liked that. I wouldn't eat a whole cinnamon roll that way because I like cinnamon rolls how they are. But I'm really not opposed to having fun and trying something. The cinnamon from the cinnamon rolls is that's the flavor you taste. It's the cinnamon. The sweetness is only because of the frosting. And you know, the grocery store cinnamon rolls, the frosting is really thick icing and it's super, super sweet. If you didn't, like, I don't use that thick of frosting. If you did a frosting that wasn't that sweet, you wouldn't taste the sweetness as much. It's that cinnamon, which really is a great flavor. And for those of you wondering, I cannot taste the cocoa powder in the chili. Can't taste it at all. All right, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm catching a flight tonight, so I've gotta finish packing. I get to go see the little ones. We're going trick-or-treating. Super excited about that. Stay tuned for my costume. The 3-year-old chose it. That's all I'm gonna say. I will post pictures of Little Miss and I on Halloween. So rest assured, you will get a good smile on your face, and just know that this Grammy is doing it for the 3-year-old. So it'll be a lot of fun. Again, thank you to Amy, the Instant Pot 101 group. We sure appreciate you. Appreciate all of you taking your time on Sunday to join me and hang out with me. I'm gonna go take care of Finn. I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna go catch a flight, and I will be back. All right, everybody, stay safe. Have a safe Halloween. Please be safe. Take the extra time on the roads. Those children are running out. They're not watching for cars. Do what you can to make it safe for everyone. Big kids, little kids. Make it be a good night for them. All right, everybody. We'll see you later. Thanks so much. Bye now.